apparently there's a new king of violence, and his name is Jake Paul. Jake Paul? He's the new king of violence? No, he's not, is he? No. Well, the reason why they're calling him this is because, well, the business of boxing hypes it up, folks, but also because he's just beaten in 6 rounds the supposed king of violence, bare-knuckle fighter Mike Perry. Now, let's just add some caveats here. This is not boxing. This is an exhibition fight, or influencer boxing, or whatever you call it. It's not the boxing of boxing, folks. It isn't the person he was supposed to fight. That was another Mike Tyson, who it was discovered, or, well, it maybe not even discovered, but he had an episode with his ulcer. The man's 58 years old, and he has an ulcer, and you don't really want to step in the ring to have the body worked when you have an ulcer, do you? So anyway, apparently they will fight later in the year. Why would you want to see that? Oh yeah, cash. So stepping in is bare-knuckle boxer Mike Perry, who is the king of violence. Now, Mike Perry is a bare-knuckle boxer, and you'd think, wouldn't you? And I don't know, because I'm not a boxer. I'm a boxing fan, but right now I'm not a boxer. You'd think that bare-knuckle boxing is the same as boxing. It clearly isn't. And I've got some notes made here, so you might see my eyes going down here. And this, well, 2 things. The first thing is that Jake Paul was roundly booed, it sounded like to me. Unless he's going to lean into that heel persona, that's not going to be good for his influencer clicks, is it? And the second thing is that Mike Perry just coming forward with no particular head movement, just walking forward, just saying, well, you know, I'm just going to stalk, even though I've been repeatedly punched around the face, nose, lips and eyes. I'm just going to come forward. I'm just going to keep walking. That made the fans delighted, and also the commentary team delighted, who started to talk to him about, referred to him as some kind of zombie. Yeah, we'll have zombie boxing next, won't we? There'll be a necromancer in the ring, and they'll bring dead fighters back, and we'll have zombie boxing. Yeah, so right from the beginning, Jake Paul worked the body. I mean, he hit the overhand right was there for Jake Paul all night, and he put Mike Perry down in the first round with that. But having said that, let's talk about the good things, some of the good things from this Jake Paul fight, because there weren't that many of them, although the crowd seemed energised. Although they seemed more energised with Perry possibly putting down Jake Paul. But Jake Paul used the jab to set up that overhand right and the right hook. And he connected with that right throughout the fight. The right connected throughout the fight. But that can happen, can't it, when you've just got someone who's walking towards you? There's no peekaboo. There's no peekaboo style. I mean, towards the end of the fight, commentary was saying, really, you should be looking for some kind of peekaboo kind of defence here. Yeah, or at least get your hands up in some way. Perry doesn't do that, apparently, when he's bare-knuckle boxing. I wouldn't know, I've not seen it. But I'm a boxing fan, you see. But he didn't do it here, so it was always available for Jake Paul. Now, he put him down again in the second round. It was set up with the jab. It was the overhand right. And Perry got up and kept walking. Hence the, he's a zombie kind of thing. Because they had to sell it in some way, didn't they? And the way to sell it was that Perry just will not stay down. And Paul's not having a great night. Between rounds, I think it was the second and the third, he was really sucking wind, was Jake Paul. He kind of found a second wind, but he got some success, Perry. He got a few shots of his own in, and Paul was cut above the left eye. So he swung a bit and got a bit of something in there, but a right hook in that fourth made Mike Perry wobble quite badly. He lost his legs quite badly. And Paul didn't really rush in to finish it off. He went back to the jab because he can, because he knows it's going to come at some point. You know, it hit some tough combinations here. And as the commentary team said, Mike Perry should really be clinching here, shouldn't he? Yeah, well, he doesn't do that, does he? And then he hit a very tough... I mean, his shots were tough, Paul. I'd have to say, he was sitting down on those shots. So they were tough, and they were power punches. So they will affect you. It did look at one point like Mike Perry's nose was on the other side of his face. I mean, you know, mine looks bad, but his looked, oh my word. I mean, it wasn't good to begin with, but he didn't look good. And then in that sixth, it was put down again. Again, it was, I think it was was it the hook? I want to check. Yeah, it was a hook, a left hook that put him down. I think it was a left hook that put him down. And he wasn't going to get up again. The ref, you know, there's no way, there's no point in him getting all that beating because there's no way he's going to win. Even if he went to the cards, he wasn't going to win. So what does this tell us? Nothing really, except that Jake Paul, people seem to be a little bit bored with him doing the kind of, I'm a boxer and I want to start a boxing record and I'm fighting two boxers who are not very well known. I'm going to grow that boxing record because that's what boxers do, you see, isn't it? Sometimes boxing promoters and boxing managers agree that there might be a walk around. A walk around is allegedly when you have a predetermined outcome, allegedly, and you might have a journeyman, allegedly. Well, journeymen don't exist, folks. They do. So I think people are a bit sick and tired of, I want to be a proper boxer, but I'm going to fight Nate Diaz and Mike Tyson and Mike Perry. Well, what are you going to do? I'm getting bored by that. And it seemed that other people wanted to show us how bored they were. Secondly, he has skills. How many skills? We don't know. Because really, he's not fought anybody of any worth, really, has he? I mean, Tommy Fury, but yeah. And he lost on that fight, of course. So we don't know what kind of skills he's got. He showed that he had some idea of tactics here. He showed that he could follow a plan. He set things up with a jab, which was a ramrod jab, actually. Tough punches. He then had the overhand right, which was available to him all night. His movement was good to begin with. I like that. There was no movement, though, from Mike Perry. So the third thing we know is that opponents make fights, and Mike Perry made a fight of it by just coming forward. But that's easy for Jake Paul. So we know that Jake Paul needs a challenge, and he ain't going to get one, is he? Not in the near future, because Tyson's not going to be one either, is it? It'll be a joke of a fight, surely. And the third thing we know is that I'm thoroughly sick of all of this influencer boxing, but we also know I've watched it, haven't I? And that probably is the main point. Ta-ta.